Is she in line?
Well, again, we've got another really good group here as we kind of start getting into these bigger classes and age divisions and rolling through. And we'll talk about some things in a second. I guess just before we get started with anything, there's been a little bit of confusion coming in. I hope everybody kind of watches, throughout the day as we get through. I guess to all of you, I assure you that I will move these sheep around as much as I possibly need, and I will get every view that I possibly can. My plan, and this is just how I'm kind of accustomed to doing it, if everybody wants to take a vote and change it, we can change it. It doesn't matter to me, but we're going to come in right here through this gate like normal. You can just make kind of a straight path, and I want everything to turn around, do a rear view right here on this fence. So nose is facing the fence, and then I'm going to come through, handle everything, get a rear view, then we'll walk them around, and we'll do everything over here as we get later on to the day, as we get even more into, say for example, senior showmanship, we have more heats, like we'll continue to work these things more. I assure you that I will get every view that I possibly can, but I want them on a rear view on this fence right here, and then we're going to walk them around, we're going to get a side profile on that fence over there, and I'll move them around however we need to, depending on the class and depending on the situation. So I just want to make that clear to everybody, what's going on, what the game plan is here for the rest of the day as we kind of move forward, so we avoid any confusion kind of moving forward. As we start getting into this deal, I think a lot of these kids did a really nice job, and there's a few kids in here you can tell that have probably been doing this since the Pee Wee level, and really rolling and maybe even learning from some other kids or some older kids, and really getting some things dialed in. And there's a few kids in here that I think could probably be really competitive at even just a little bit kind of a higher age level too. And so my compliments to you all. This is very impressive. And so to me, there's three individuals in here in particular that really kind of set themselves apart. And do some things just a little bit extra, and I like that. And outside of that, then I think there's a couple of them that do a really solid job and little things that we can kind of talk about and do some of those things. And so what I did in the cattle showmanship is I kind of started from number 5 and worked my way up to number 1 to build a little bit of suspense and to talk about some things. And so we'll kind of go through that and say that. And so as we get to number 5, I'm starting to think about just consistency of kind of being in the right spot, having yourself positioned correctly, leaving your spacing correctly, and then also as consistently as you can, getting that sheep set up. And so this young man right here, kind of in front of me to my left, is going to be number 5. But I wouldn't hold that one's ears as much, okay? I would focus a little bit more on the neck and maybe just kind of brace a little harder. But again, positioning I thought was really good, spacing was really good, and I like the way that every time I looked at that sheep was consistently set up pretty good. And so, excuse me, good job to you. This young lady with the blue sheep right here in second is going to be number 4 in this particular drive. So congratulations to you. I don't know, you must do gymnastics. I don't know how you get your legs that far apart. I would rip my pants so fast. And so to me, that's probably just a little extreme, and you're probably focusing too much on trying to do the splits instead of actually trying to drive into that sheep, if that makes sense. And so I would get just a little bit more contact right there. It's okay to be kind of that spread out, but maybe we're not actually kind of driving that sheep as much. We love the intensity. I think everything that you're doing is just a really high level job. So congratulations to you. Excuse me, as we start thinking about, 3 through 1, these 3 young people in here, I really thought did a very strong and competitive job right there. This young lady in the front is going to be number 3, and I thought she did an excellent job and a really close decision in my mind. Again, at times, maybe not just getting into that sheep quite as effectively as what I think the other 2 young people do. But again, excellent job. Your transitions are really good, and I like how well you pay attention to where I'm at, how you're positioned with your sheep, and all those things are really solid. then the young lady in the back is our reserve champion in this particular grouping, so congratulations to you. And again, a little bit of confusion going on, or maybe a sheep that just didn't want to walk and it took you just a second to get back over here, but every time I've gone over and looked, you've been exactly where you needed to be. Your transitions were awesome, and then you really do a good job of just kind of driving in that sheep. And then the young lady that is going to end up winning this deal, I thought did an exceptional job, came through with lots of intensity, and again, just very consistent all the way through. Sparkly shirt right here in the middle is our champion in the junior showmanship. Congratulations to you, congratulations to all those kids on an awesome, awesome job.
Well, as we start to work through our first class at our Dairy Goat Show, the one that starts off with, there's just more of her in comparison to the others in the class. I think she's bigger in terms of her rib cage. I think she probably profiles just a little nicer and blends herself together just a little more. Just a nice one to go ahead and start. The one that's going to be second, I think angle-wise, is probably more ideal in terms of the set to her hop. Just today, she just runs out of a little bit of power comparative to the one that's in front of her, but I like her angles and I like the way she reads. Just with time and maturity, will continue to go. The one that's here in third, I think just kind of consequently falls into this section, and I think so because her angles still read right, and even though she's a little bit younger today, I think she has some true future in terms of body shape and capacity. I think her front 1/3 reads right too in terms of angles. And then the one that's going to round out the class is still learning how to be a show goat out here and just showing himself off. But I still think a nice angular and feminine type female that has some body shape, and again with maturity and just kind of wanting to be a show goat will continue to just mature and do well within this breed. Let's give these kids a big round of applause and good class. All right, going back to the junior showmanship on the lamb side, your grand champion junior showman, Selena Anton. Reserve, Carly Herndon. Third.